So today we're going to talk about the Savage Axe mode on the Charge Blade, and I'm going to give you guys some tips on how to use Savage Axe better and how to be more aggressive with the mode, because without defensive options it can be tough. So opening with Savage Axe mode, you're going to cancel your Elemental Discharge and press L2, and the Savage Axe slash itself isn't all that great, but what you do after is what counts. I usually like to press forward and circle to close in the gap between the monster's head and my axe, as opposed to just pressing circle by just doing the regular slash. Depends on how close you are to the monster. Both are really good options, and I would suggest getting used to trying out both. So the most damaging move you can do after the axe slash is the dash slam, and this is going to do the most damage out of any other attack leading out of the axe slash. It's also going to stagger a lot of monsters. It has very high motion value. So we'll get straight into some demonstrations. So here I start off with morphing into axe mode, and I realize that I'm not close enough to Narga, so I press forward and triangle to close in the gap to do another axe slam, which is really good to do. And then we just pound on his head. Dodge that tail whip, which is very important, especially for Narga. The closer you gotta get a bit closer to the tail to make sure you don't get hit by it to dodge it. Okay, now he's asleep. He's asleep. And we continue pounding on his face, and then we iframe that roar, bam, and then that gets the stagger. So here his face is already tenderized, so I hop off his face and just go straight for his head to do massive damage, which will build up to a possible KO in most cases. So one great big hurdle that you may need to get over is basically learning that you don't have to be too afraid to just go ham on a monster when they're down, especially. With Charge Blade, you kind of want to be a bit reckless so that you can do even more damage to a monster. And in Savage Axe mode, you're going to get a lot of stuns and a lot of staggers. So now we're going to talk about the B&B combo, or bread and butter combos, for Savage Axe mode. And it's basically what you're used to if you already played in Axe mode a lot. Usually circle, circle, and then triangle and triangle, or circle and triangle. But a big thing is, what you want to do is make sure you reload your files before Savage Axe mode runs out, and then press circle to keep going. That is probably the best thing you can do, as it just keeps Savage Axe going and going. And if you're really good at dodging monsters and just taking advantage of iframes, you'll be untouchable for quite a while. So this is going to be the big demonstration, as I'm going to show you a few things on how to keep Savage Axe going while standing your ground against a really fast monster. So here, after I get this tenderized, I know that every monster moves their head to the right, just like this. So you can take advantage of that with the axe swing and get in that extra damage. And a lot of the times, they're probably going to get KO'd or staggered from that. So take big advantage of that. So right here, I make sure I guard point this roar, and then I reload my files immediately. And then this hit right here, this little chomp, it does damage, but it doesn't actually do pushback. So you can tank this attack, especially if you have health augments on. So this part gets really freaking interesting. So here I make sure I try to reload my files, and then I try to iframe that tail whip, even though I might not have need to, but I do it anyway. Reload my files, and then I keep up the onslaught on Savage Axe mode. And this is really important. And then right here, I get ready to iframe those two tail whips, and then I keep attacking. Mind you, I'm using either circle or forward and circle, as it's the quickest way to get to him after a dodge. So at this point, I'm basically hyper analyzing Narga, and then we get a stagger, well, a knockdown, and then I reload my files and I just keep going ham on his head, and then we get a knockout, and then I make sure I reload my files again to keep going at it on his face. Pretty much rinse and repeat at this point. But you kind of really want to know the monster you're fighting so you can know when to dodge.